Canelo Golden Boy beef does not seem to be going away. Yesterday for the grand arrival, right? Yesterday was the grand arrival, right?
Well, I don't know if it was that grand because Oscar wasn't there.
Well, yeah, that is as 100% true. Yes, per Lance Pugmire, no Oscar sighting at the grand arrival. Dot dot dot. Um, and then Athletic made or posted an article via Mike Coppinger today with the quote, "There's no loyalty. We see it now," from Canelo Alvarez regarding Oscar De La Hoya. And the full quote, let me read it. Here it is. Let's get some dramatic music out, some gunshots, all the good shit. Per Alvarez, speaking of De La Hoya, you can see there's no loyalty in him. He changed trainers during his career. He changed managers in his career. So there's no loyalty. That's the way he is. We see it now. I'm a very loyal person. And we are a very loyal team. We're still together. But you can see there's no loyalty in Oscar. There's only one thing I have to say. Very ungrateful. He has to remember that his first world champion in Golden Boy stable was Oscar Larios. And obviously Oscar Larios was trained by Eddie Reynoso. And that has been a point of contention between them. So, as Rob is jumping out and jumping back in, it seems, again, let's talk about this whole, Rob, it's you, not us, by the way.
I don't know what's going on. It's fucking shit, this fucking
Are you connected via Ethernet or just Wi-Fi?
Ethernet.
Okay, you hesitated there.
I had to check.
But digressing, obviously, the beef between Oscar De La Hoya and Canelo seems to be growing. Oscar De La Hoya was there for the press conference today, but it seems like Canelo made no mention or reference to him, did not look at him at all, and literally did not make eye contact, gesture, nothing towards Oscar's direction. So, guys, thoughts on the dissolving relationship between Canelo and Golden Boy Promotions and Oscar De La Hoya, and this story that does not seem to be going away. Gary, I know you had some thoughts on it.
It's like once you start really considering if I should get a divorce, you're already there, right? Like this relationship is over, right? Like, I mean, seriously, and it's all Oscar has. So like, and I don't mean this to be funny. Why isn't Canelo buy himself out of the Golden Boy portion of his contract? Golden Boy, Oscar, take the money, pay the employees, take the rest of the money, and just retire, quit boxing. And he lives in San Juan. Just go enjoy the rest of your life. Like, because his heart's not in this. He has a million problems. Like, in all seriousness, like he's ran Golden Boy into the ground the last 5 years. Canelo's always got, and he's losing Canelo. So just let's split. You go your way, buy yourself out of the contract. I'll pay off the rest of the Golden Boy employees. You know, Lamont Roach and Linares and Munguia and Virgil Ortiz, they'll be fine. They'll sign elsewhere. And let's just go on. I'm done with this promoting thing.
I will say, though, in line with our conversation the other day about could Al Heyman help Terrence Crawford buy out his top-rank contract, right? The modern sort of inflation of fighter contracts, I wonder what the buyout number would be for Canelo with Golden Boy Promotions. It has to be high. Right now, obviously, it's not the 36+ million. That number's from DAZN, right? So that's not the number we're talking about here. But whatever that contract is, whatever that number is, it's a lot, I'm assuming. And I wonder if he has sort of the liquid capital, so to speak, to spend on that, to buy himself out of the contract. The other path would be litigation. And look, maybe he has a leg to stand on. I don't know. Because from what we've seen in the past few years with boxers that have gone through this process, they've kind of been lucky in some times. Andre Ward, rest in peace, but Dan Goossen passed away. So that kind of whole litigation went away because of that, right? Andre Ward lost 2-3 years of his prime, but he could have lost a lot more. You know, Dan Goossen just happened to pass away. Mike Garcia got kind of lucky that Top Rank gave up on him and just said, hey, you can just go. Because he, wasted 2 years?
Two plus years, yeah.
I don't know if I want to see Canelo go through that, even though he could. He's 29 years old. You know, he comes back at 31 years old. You know, he's fine. But that's a process I would assume Golden Boy would try everything to keep him there, unlike other fighters and other situations we've seen recently. And plus, in terms of the buyout figure, I would say it's a lot more than what Mayweather probably had to buy out his contract for, which was the biggest steal in boxing history. I mean, Gary, I know Rob's looking at something right now. I mean, you brought it up. Do you think that it's actually monetarily like feasible for Canelo to buy out his contract, or would litigation be the more realistic path for him?
I mean, litigation is more realistic, except that he's too. I guess Floyd quit for 2 years when he was this age. I guess it would hurt boxing bad though, because Canelo's really. I know there's still Pacquiao and Joshua's going to get knocked out again, right? So it's like Canelo really is the only superstar left in the sport. So if he wants to take 2 years off or whatever, however long it would take, well, Golden Boy without 2 years without Canelo, they would go bankrupt. You would think. So I mean, they would have to figure something out, right?
Yeah.
I mean that might be a quicker process because Golden Boy. You know, Top Rank wasn't starving when Mikey Garcia wasn't fighting. You know what I'm saying? Like, as Canelo takes him. So if Canelo's, I'm not fighting for 2 years, we're in trouble. Like, we need to settle something quickly.
I agree. The parameters of Canelo and Golden Boy makes it far harder for Golden Boy just to sort of let this go in a sense. Rob, I know you're looking at something on your phone. I know you sent something about Better Be Even, Canelo. But thoughts on Canelo, Golden Boy, Oscar, the rift between them?
Yeah, it's shit's got real, right? He's out there saying Oscar's not loyal. You can tell what kind of a guy he is, and that's not good. That's like
those are fighting words.
Huh?
Those are fighting words.
Yeah. That's like, Joshua coming out and really saying Eddie's this, Eddie's that guy. He's done this. It's like, I want to. You imagine if Joshua was out here saying, "Show me the books" and all this crap. It's.
Oh, Rob.
But like when I was at the Virgil Ortiz fight in Dallas, Oscar wasn't there. Period. He wasn't at the weigh-in. He wasn't at the fight. He wasn't there. Like, could you imagine if Eddie wasn't at one of Devin Haney's fights? Or if Bob wasn't at Shakur Stevenson's fight, it's like, what are you doing? This is your future. Like, I don't know. Like, Oscar doesn't want to do this anymore. Like, I think that's clear to me. What do you think, Rob? Are you gonna stick around?
What's going on? This shit's fucked up.
I just hold on, Rob. You know what I think this is? I think this is the universe saying, like, Rob, you were too much of a smart ass when you're making fun of Gary's internet. So we're gonna make sure you have some internet issues.
Yeah, it's like Gary's presence has sent some fucking
virus to you.
Virus.
When I yelled at AT&T the last time, they fixed it. I did that check your speed test. It was at 116. I'm good. There's not going to be any more issues. I took care of AT&T.
Yeah, you did.
The way Gary says, "I'm gonna take care of it" is so Italian mafioso.
Yeah, that's terrifying. That's like, was it Pulp Fiction? I've got to take her out on a date. You got to take her out. Like, take care of it.
But Rob, you were saying you didn't say much before you cut out. I'll be honest.
No.
So Canelo, Oscar, the rift between them. Your thoughts?
Yeah, no, I was saying, like, if Joshua was out here spilling shit on Eddie and saying, "No, this guy's," it'd be huge, right? So yeah, this is big, and that you can't even acknowledge the dude when he's on the stage with you, and I don't know, it's really bad. And even the Eric Gomez text message to Coppinger was like, look,
let me find it.
Yeah, I can read it out.
I have it somewhere too. You keep talking, I'll find it.
No, I've got it right here. Part of the Athletic article, it said, after exchanging text messages with Golden Boy Promotion spokesperson, the Athletic emailed and attempted to reach him over the phone, but he didn't reply. Additionally, Gomez did not respond to an interview request, but sent a text message that read, "I'm interested in promoting the fight. If you want to help us promote the fight, I'm game. if you're going to keep attacking us and creating controversies, you're on your own. So I'll give you an interview as long as you're going to help us promote the fight. But if you want to sit here telling everybody what's actually happening, go fuck yourselves. You're not talking to me, or I'm not talking to The Athletic. But
that is so nasty from Eric Gomez.
Yeah, I don't know, right? It's bad.
Like, and you should. The amount of times I've been told, like, yo, promote the fight. Like, promote the fight. Stop complaining about it. Stop criticizing it. Stop doing whatever. Promote the fight. When I'm not the promoter, I would be a billionaire by now. I would be like Len Blavnik and be able to buy the zone. Okay, that's how much money I would have if I had $1 for every time somebody said, "Yo, just promote the fight." If I had a manager, an agent, a promoter, a network exec, the amount of times I've had someone tell me that, I would be a billionaire.
Oh, if I had £1 for every time you over exaggerated.
That was weird. Rare.
I was saying if you were saying about being a billionaire, and I said if I had £1 for every time you over exaggerated, I'd be a billionaire as well.
Oh, of course, Rob. Of course. I mean, that's what I do, though. I'm a talk show host, so I'm going to exaggerate everything. But digressing from that, are we thinking that Canelo, like this rift between Canelo and Oscar is expedited and we get the separation from these two sooner rather than later? Or do we think that they just go through this process, go throughout the contract, and wait till Canelo is a promotional free agent for them to actually split up?
I'm just waiting for Canelo to beat Kovalev and there to be negotiations for his next fight, because it's going to be fucking hella headlines. Because as far as I can make out, everything is done through like a third party. Like Canelo don't want to talk to Oscar or have Oscar talk to him. It's all done through, I think, Canelo's like lawyer or something like that. Yep. And it's a mess. I mean, also in that article, people should check it out if you've got an Athletic subscription, but it talks about the Canelo losing his IBF bout because of dragging the heels as far as
losing the date, the September Mexican Independence Day date and the May date, and how that really upsets him. Canelo's not happy, man.
No, and when you're the top dog in the sport, you know, these guys should be doing everything they can to keep him a happy guy, you know. But I don't know. As far as when does he get out, I don't know. I think this will probably drag on a while. I'm sure Canelo's got everyone he can looking at his contract and just how much would it be and what kind of loopholes are there? What can we exploit as far as getting out of this? And then I guess he is who he is, probably goes it alone as far as promotional company, or maybe he does align himself with someone that will just be that extra voice, that because I just don't see what he's gaining from on an actual promotion standpoint with Golden Boy. But maybe he does. I don't know. I'm pretty sure he's happy to take a bigger cut because it's all through his own promotional thing. So yeah. I know, Matt, you put it out there. Oh, the Matchroom fanboys are all excited that Canelo. But, I mean, it could be. I think there's good terms with Canelo and Eddie as far as sort of conversations that have happened before. But I don't know. I'm not sure that...
I could be president of the United States, right? Like,
well, not for a while. You got to be 35.
Yeah, of course. But I could be, right?
He's only in his 20s.
There's inside jokes everyone doesn't know that Rob is such a smart ass. But I just think that, again, if you're a fighter, you like independence, you like having some autonomy, and when you're a multi-millionaire like Canelo, you love that even more. And when the normal thing is to, hey, when you're a fighter on the come up, you have a promoter, you have an agent, you have a manager, you have all these things, and then if you're lucky enough to be a superstar, you can then be your own boss. And Canelo's at that stage now where he can be his own boss. And I think he's going to be, because he clearly kind of wants to be his own boss. I don't think he likes having...
I'm just saying, you know, having that mouthpiece that you don't... He's not out there speaking English, telling everybody to do, you know, come...
I absolutely understand that point. But I don't think that matters to him. Because he has an entire demographic and market that he caters to that is in English speaking. And... he's a megastar over there. So, like, him going to ESPN Deportes He doesn't need Eddie Hearn or Bob Arum or who's another PBC. Like he doesn't need these entities to really do that and facilitate that for him. Or if let's say he wants to go to more mainstream outlets, it's Canelo Alvarez. He can go to First Take. He can go to Breakfast Club. He can go to Drink Champs. He can go to Good Morning America. Like he is Canelo Alvarez. He can do that on his own. And I do think it's just funny that, not you, Rob, because I'm not talking to you. I know you don't think this, but a lot of the Matchroom zombies, so to speak, like the diehard ones, man, you guys are hoping on a star that Canelo's going to sign to Eddie, and that's just ahistorical. Like that just does not happen usually. For a superstar to separate himself from his promotional ties and then go to a promoter is rare. And it's almost unheard of. Like I just, and for people bringing up like, oh, Triple G did it, do not compare Triple G's business possibilities with Canelo. They're brands. Like you just cannot compare the two. I mean, maybe a close comparison would be Pacquiao, right? And Pacquiao going to PBC is that in the same vein of maybe Canelo having a somewhat co-deal partnership of some sort with Eddie or Al or something? Yes, but Pacquiao was on the way out, needed to rebuild, and on top of it, I would say Heyman and PBC, or actually Heyman individually, don't work as a boss the same way as a promoter does. And that's a significant factor. Just from a business relationship, advisor-fighter is different than promoter-fighter. It just is. I would be surprised if Pacquiao would just sign a promotional deal with anyone else ever again, to be honest.
I got a real question. If Canelo went to either DAZN or PBC, if he went to either Matchroom or PBC, would that create a strife internally? Because if you get Canelo has to be priority number 1, 2, and 3 because you have the biggest name in the sport, right? So if you're Deontay Wilder, Tank Davis, Jamal Charlo, you're like, wait, why is this guy getting all the attention? Or I guess if you're Triple G, you love him coming to Matchroom because it makes your fight. But you know what I'm saying? Like, does it create strife internally?
No, I don't think so.
Because you're no longer top dog with your organization.
No, maybe let's say within the divisions. Let's say PBC's case, right? I think that's an easy one to say because Jamal Charlo, Canelo, who's now the priority for Al Heyman, maybe, right?
Yeah.
But I think if you're like Deontay Wilder, a guy that's not in his division, like that doesn't matter. It's just now a conversation of rising tides raise all boats here, right? Raising all ships here. Like the amount of attention that either Matchroom or PBC would get for having Canelo is a net positive for everyone within that stable, in my opinion. It's not negative per se. And even within the divisions, I wouldn't say it's a negative because you're going to have the possibility of fighting Canelo, so that's a net positive for everyone. So no, I understand your point and why you would think that, but I don't think that's the case at all. I think it would actually just be more of a beneficial thing than a negative thing if you're a fighter within that respective stable, so to speak. But guys, any sort of last take on Oscar beef with Canelo and the strife between these two parties? No?
No, I'm ready to hear more.
I always love the pettiness and the drama, you know what I mean? Moving on, though,